Okay, everybody, I'm back. Interlude's over. Probably have to take another one. But where was I? We were on the Four of Pentacles. And the last one had said the divine masculine has been enlightened. You guys are the chosen ones, divine feminines. And he knows it and he's coming with it. He's going to come and let you know. So that's where we were. And it was clarified by the Five of Seas, which is the Five of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, which is on this card, it's the Five of Earth, and the Maiden of Beauty and Ecstatic Union. So there's a clear message just on these clarifying cards alone because this person, you know, who is letting go was also holding on. The fact that they are moving on from something to you lets me know that they had to let go of something in order to move towards you. So, whatever they did let go of, this caused them to have the feeling of the Five of Cups and the physical feeling of the Five of Earth, which is manipulation. And what I'm going to do is read the card for manipulation, and I'm going to read the card for cleansing, the Five of Cups, because that is what has taken them to the idea that divine feminine is their maiden of beauty and the one who they need to be in ecstatic union with. And that is just three cards in, okay? This is how divine masculine is seeing you in his headspace. So they'll be communicating this to you at some point. I don't know the time frame, but we do have two fives here and two fours. So five maybe in May, maybe April. I don't know. The ecstatic union is Gemini. That's June. So summertime is spring, summer. Maiden of Beauty is also in a garden with butterflies. So springish, summer, like I said. If you're looking for a time frame, I never even say time frames. That's just something that popped out there. So I'm just throwing it out there. But that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to read the cleansing card, the Five of Seeds, which is Mars and Scorpio. So this might be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces person that you're dealing with, and or it's just the energy that it's bringing. But frogs are the goddess symbol of fertility, bringing regeneration and healing. In order to heal, sorrow, grief, and guilt must be released through cleansing waters of love and purification. Frog calls forth the powerful rains that wash us free of emotion or emotional pain, letting tears come to release the flow of sorrow. These emotional storms bring the lightning bolts which shatter the human illusions held dear, so that what is true may emerge in its own time. The frog mandala reminds you to stay at your center during times of emotional shifts and release through loss and disappointment. Through this cleansing of your heart, you will be whole once more. So the picture depicts five frogs, and they're trying to get into the middle of the lily pad, which holds a little pearl in the middle. And so they're all just relaxing on the lily pad, holding hands in sync, just, you know, letting the waters wash over them and get them to this pearl. And that is essentially what this is saying, that you need to stand in your grief, stand in your guilt, stand in your fear, stand in all your sorrows, feel it, let the energy of it consume you. Any single negative thought, give it attention, acknowledge it, but then let it go. And do not come back to it. Do not revisit it. Do not let anyone else make you revisit it once you have put a cap on it. You know what I'm saying? Once you've went inside, you've done the work, you've cleansed yourself, you've healed yourself. Those are wounds that have been stitched up. When you stitch yourself up, your skin goes back together again. It heals. It's not an open wound that is fresh that can be recut and recut. But if you don't completely let those stitches heal you and put your skin back together on all of the layers, the epidermis, and then you go underneath that, and underneath that, you have to let all the layers heal before you can call yourself healed. And once it has, it's not open. So, no one can come in and poke at it and pick at it and scratch at it and then it busts back open again because it is healed. That is the difference. And so you can't expect someone to heal in your time that you're expecting them to heal in, or, they automatically should know this or automatically should know that. You have to let them deal with things in their own time and still hold a space and still be open and loving to letting them, come into their own and be authentically them. And that is what divine feminine does for divine masculine. And he is realizing this. He did not know that. He is realizing this. Also, the next card is clarified by the Five of Earth. And I'm also going to read that because it says manipulation here. And so, in my own interpretation, this represents people, places, and things, especially places and people that are around divine masculine, that holds his attention, that keeps him from looking at the light, seeing the light, wanting to discuss the light, having anything to do with the light, even though the light is there and ready and shining and whispers. Someone who puts earplugs in knowing that they want to hear the call. It's that type of situation because of fear. I haven't went into all the cards, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's out here somewhere. The fear of what they look like to these people and in these people and places and things, what they look like on the outside to these people if they, go ahead and be true to who they really are. So it's a situation, it's a problem that's causing conflict, and they feel trapped. This card has a female on it with the whole five puppet strings on the hand, and it's controlling her arms, her legs, her head. You know, it is Taurus energy, also Capricorn and Virgo. It looks like that's in Mars. Um, but there is light on these strings. There is light shining on this woman who is seemingly oblivious to the strings. They're just being controlled. So once they realize that the light is there and this person has, hence all the things that I just talked about in part one, and all the lights and the birds and the divine whispering to you and the sunshine in the background and the moon and all this. So there is definitely a knowing, but this is past energy. The five of seas is past energy, but that past energy had to take place. What I was saying before about this person having to spend time with other individuals and other souls to find who they click with, who they mesh with, who is for them and who is not, and cut those things away. They have to actually spend the time with those people, though, in order to know that. They won't just know without having taken the time to figure it out. So you have to let these people, what do they say? Do them. You do you, let them do them, and what's meant to be will actually always be. There are no coincidences. There are no accidents. You don't, just bump into people just because. Things happen for a reason. It's either a lesson or a blessing. And in the twin flame union, it's the ultimate blessing if one is willing to embrace their blessings, which this divine masculine, whoever this read is for, has definitely decided to at least embark on the journey. Even if it's only for within, even if it's only them changing or them changing on the inside and testing it out on different people on the outside to see if there is actually changes and reflections before they actually reveal themselves to the divine feminine. I'm channeling here, y'all. I'm not looking at any cards, but this is what I'm getting. So, they might have went within themselves, did some work on themselves, and now they want to see, well, how do these people respond to the new me, and how does this group of people respond to the new me? And at the end of the day, it's still cutting away what is good for your higher self and what serves you against what doesn't. And some will make the just choices and some will not, and some don't have a choice. The universe has decided to step in, and so they are being pushed and guided towards what they know to be true, but maybe they might be refusing to actually take a look at it. But it's up for review. That's what the cleansing and the healing was about. And when they came out of this cleansing and this healing era and realized who was manipulating and who wasn't and who's going to be there and who's not, they decided to make some changes. And they realized that there is a maiden of beauty in the mix. And this maiden of beauty is their wish fulfillment. It's their choice. It's who they are longing for. It is the seeds that they planted up here with the aid of nurturance. It is all of the enlightenment that Spirit has been giving them and whispering to them. She is the Queen of Cups. She is the star that this masculine has been seeing. She is his maiden of beauty. This is Virgo energy, very earthy. Um, she is just chilling right here in this garden, just looking and observing the garden, just in the middle of it, like she's part of the backdrop, like she's one of the flowers. That is how she's depicted. She has on purple, which is royalty, which is a crown chakra. There are three butterflies in the background, you know, which represents two souls and the divine spirit. There is, looks like a rose garden. You know, roses are very beautiful, very stern, very pure. They can grow in concrete, and there are also two birds flying high in the backdrop that you barely notice, but I see them because me and birds and butterflies are very connected. And so anytime I see two birds or butterflies in any card, I automatically get a soulmate vibe, a twin flame vibe, you know, a divine um, intertwined soul vibe. So that is what I get for that. And we're going to go to the Maiden of Beauty here. And she says, the exquisite maiden of earth sits in lush garden at full harvest, radiantly at peace in her element. She is sacred form, embodying beauty, health, and wholeness. At home in the world, she cares for herself and others with intuitive wisdom, living in harmony with nature. All of life responds to her purity and radiates fruition and beauty back to her. She exemplifies oneness with the nature or natural world and the ease and joy of being in cooperation with nature. The Maiden of Earth is here to encourage you to embrace your beauty and your feelings. Honor your body's wisdom and know that you are in harmony with nature and with the world and with the life force. Find your earthy intuitive center and move through your world as this earth maiden does, with beauty and inner wisdom. So this is how your divine masculine is now seeing you after cutting away people, places, and things that don't serve him, after looking at all the people around him and realizing who it is that is manipulating him and who's not. How they may have been trying to manipulate him financially while you have the Four of Pentacles here and he was holding back on spending any money or showing any type of, you know, reciprocity as far as assets go, especially if you're dealing with, you know, a masculine who actually has assets, and a lot of them do. A lot of them are, like I said, maybe actual stars and dealing and versing an actual star. And so maybe the divine feminine in his eyes actually brought some type of competition, you know, to the playing field, where if this person is popular or a player or lives a certain type of lifestyle and so does divine feminine, people may find her as being the star energy and the Queen of Cups very intimidating because the star quality is there and there's nothing divine feminine can do about that. And so maybe divine masculine saw her in a different light, maybe not even as the star, but maybe as a pretender or a wannabe star, or, you know, this is not really her character. This is not really, no one's that genuine, or no one still fucks with a person after they just do this X, Y, and Z to them. Like, this can't be fucking real. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what's running through divine masculine's mind. Meanwhile, there are all these sharks around him that really are up to no good, that really are being manipulative, but they are pitting each one against one, all in his ear, you know what I'm saying? Making him see things that he knows is not there. He knows that the divine feminine is nothing of the sort, but would let these seeds be planted and actually entertain them because of fear. Fear of the intensity of the divine feminine's connection with the divine masculine is something he's never experienced before, more or less. I'm pretty positive of that. And so that would scare a person. So when these people are telling you all these weird things, oh, well, she does this or she does that or she's spiritual, or even maybe convince him that she is doing these things on him, and that's why he has the intense feelings. And so he's starting to think, oh, well, there's a root or there's some juju or, all sorts of things, when really somebody probably does have a root or some juju, but it is not the divine feminine who he thinks it is. In actuality, she is the one, dealing with the energies that she's equipped to deal with, because she is in fact the next card, which is the high priestess, and we'll get to that. But she has divine masculine's back, and unbeknownst to him, but he is getting an inkling, he is getting a knowing, he is getting a showing from the divine at this time. So he has realized that she is the maiden of beauty, and he had to go inside himself and actually ask for forgiveness for the way that he has treated her, and find, what did we say earlier in part one, the courage to even approach her, because he knows that he was wrong. But he doesn't understand that divine feminine being actually a divine feminine, the forgiveness has already been offered and extended. The forgiveness has already been worked on within her in order for him to be pulled in. Like, she forgave him before he even did the action, because it was bound to happen. That is the dance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The most perfect dance, but the dance nonetheless. So the last card clarifying this, Four of Pentacles, either holding back or letting go. In this case, we know that he was holding back and is letting go and coming towards the ecstatic union. And I am going to definitely read the ecstatic union. And there is a lot of major arcana cards here. So that means that spirit is really all in this mix. From what I can tell, and I haven't really went into it. I don't know what's next or anything, but just from what I'm looking at, there's a lot of major arcana and there's a lot of spirit here. Divine masculine has been working. So that means that divine feminine has been working. You hear me? You go, girls, go, ladies, queens, goddesses, you divine spirits, you work it. Anyway, the ecstatic union, which is Shakati. It is in Gemini. Okay. Shakati is the powerful Hindu goddess who, and I hope that I'm saying that right. If I'm not, please forgive me. Who intimidate. Oh, she emanates the life force, the creative fire and essence of the universe. The energy of the primordial snake moves through her and lets rise the sleeping creative force within to awaken, ascend, and merge with the sacred. Shataki, in all of her power, holds and runs the vital, animating force of Kundalini, the embodiment of ecstatic union with the divine. Her sensuality and passion unite the seeming Gemini polarities, which the Gemini is the twins, guys, into sacred oneness with spirit. Shakati personifies the holy aspirations of the human soul. Shakati shows the way to union with the pure force of spirit. She reminds you that you are a being of power and that you are on earth to let your energy move upward through your body to unite with her and fulfill your deepest desire of union with the primary force of creation. Shakati is the cosmic example of sacred power, exemplifying the perfect orgasmic fusion of your sexuality, sensuality, and spirituality, where your world is forever transformed. That is beautiful. And that is how divine masculine is feeling, seeing, viewing, holding the divine feminine in his head space, you guys. This is how he is viewing her. This is what he sees. A ecstatic union, a maiden of beauty. And he no longer wants to hold back. He wants to let go and he wants to give. Next, we have the high priestess, clarified by Azumi. That's how I say it. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it is the Fool, and Mary Magdalene, which is initiation, you guys. How beautiful is this? The high priestess, initiation with the Fool. Let's get into it. So, in his heart space that has been closed off due to previous relationships, due to a lifestyle choice, due to a secret that Divine Feminine actually knows, has known since the day that she has met Divine Masculine, that shall be revealed at some point, has yet to be revealed, however, does not hold any bearing or weight over the unconditional love that Divine Feminine feels for her masculine. This read is for somebody, y'all. Stick with me. Some of this is just channeled, but look and listen. So, Divine Masculine has, you know, a persona about him, a facade to the outside world, to many circles, many different circles at that. So, he wears many hats, many masks, is a socialite type. And his heart is closed off to emotions or feelings. And it has to be due to this type of lifestyle, because if it wasn't, you would be combined to all sorts of energies that, you wouldn't be able to shake due to this specific lifestyle. However, he's really good at distinguishing, passion from feelings, from emotions. And so Divine Masculine's heart space has been closed off. Divine Masculine has been in a previous situation that we know that he moved away from. So I'm going to say this is a long-standing relationship and or a marriage and or several relationships that are long-standing and a marriage. Okay? So he's, like I said, wears many different hats. And in these situations, they're great facades to the outside world looking in. White house, 2 dogs, 2 cats, white picket fence, 2 kids, 3, 4 kids, whatever. They have this, perfect world that they present to the outside world. But on the inside, what started with a wish fulfillment ended up being somewhat of a nightmare. So a roller coaster ride, a beautiful ride, one that you thought you would enjoy and get off and ride again. However, I'm thinking about a ride at Cedar Point, and I believe it's called the Gemini, and it's two roller coasters side by side, and then at some point they switch courses and they go different ways. And that's what happened. The roller coaster ride got derailed because somebody's wish fulfillment was no longer the other person's wish fulfillment. And this is probably, I'm feeling, a soulmate relationship, like a really deep, connected, committed, I love you, I'm in love with you relationship, but with different dreams, different wishes. And so you can't give someone a wish fulfillment that doesn't share the same dream or the same wish. Okay? So Divine Masculine becomes complacent, becomes disinterested, becomes, a non-playable character, basically, just living in a situation that's no longer suiting him, nor serving him, nor making him happy. And so the heart becomes very closed off, maybe even to the one that he professes to love. And people get stuck in their ways, and so they just become a way. And that way becomes the lifestyle, the everyday hustle and bustle. This is me, this is who I am. But it's a mask, okay? Because they're not living from their true heart space. So here we go with the high priestess. The high priestess is out. The Queen of Cups, the Star, the high priestess all the same person. But this high priestess has triggered divine masculine into his own high priestesshood, like the Hierophant mode. And he is within himself, facing fears, facing hidden things, facing the knowing. There's the crescent moon. She's bent over backwards. She has the key of knowledge, the ankh wrapped around her arm. She's dressed in all white and purity. She does not need a go between her and the divine. She talks directly to the divine. She gets her inspiration directly from the divine. She gets her um, motivation directly from the divine. And she gets her instructions directly from the divine, and she does not need a go between. And so, this person, this high priestess, who's the Queen of Cups, who's the star, can look at divine masculine and see through him like paper. There's no lie too small or too big that she does not already know. There is no fear that he has that she does not already know. This person is very telepathic. She can hear divine masculine's thoughts. She can communicate with divine masculine over time and space, so that no matter where he is, they are energetically connected and can and do communicate this way. Um, she's over a body of water, and her feet are not. This is a Piscean card, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it is Piscean energy. And they're very Neptune. They're very like dreamy, very intuitive, very psychic. All the water signs are, but Pisces have a fantasy side to them, where they can get lost actually in the fantasy. And Spirit is leading me towards saying that some of the divine masculines are in their heads, actually knowing who their person is, knowing who their divine feminine is, fantasizing about this perfect life that they could have only if they could just have divine feminine, knowing the whole entire time that they can have divine feminine if they are willing to do the necessary things that they need to do to have her. Thus, divine spirit throwing them into the clarifier, which is initiation. And so, what we're going to do here is read initiation. This is, like I said, Mary Magdalene, Virgo energy. She has on a green robe. She's pregnant. She has a little purple container in her hand. Her third eye is enlightened. It is a sun behind her. It is illuminated. And then the card is, of course, royal purple. And she just has like a solemn face, a humble face. So it's just like a knowing. So we're going to read this. Mary Magdalene, Christ's wife and beloved, is the archetype bride of the eternal bridegroom, the incarnation of love, fertility, compassion, and wisdom. Go ahead, divine masculine. You talking today. All right, so Mary has been worshipped as the goddess throughout parts of the Christian world for 2,000 years. Mary was the high priestess of initiation who anointed Jesus at the banquet table, and after his death, a rite reserved only for brides and the high priestess of Isis at the time on earth. Her anointment proclaimed Christ's kingship and initiated him into the Heroes Gamas, I don't know how to say that, guys, or sacred marriage, the cosmic union of the feminine and masculine. Mary was the honored witness of Christ's resurrection and carried his line forward. In her green robe of fertility, she carries the seed of her beloved in the world. Her golden halo of roses represents her grace and purity of love and wisdom. Mary Magdalene is the blessed and enlightened one, the restored bride of the sacred feminine. She initiates all through her anointment of love with the wisdom of the sacred mysteries. Mary is here to remind you that you hold the sacred womb and doorway to life through your divine feminine essence, regardless of your gender. Her power to anoint through the rites of initiation are available to you as you remember the ancient wisdom and teachings that live in your cellular memory. Honor Mary through the reverence of your holy essence and the power of your inner high priestess as the bride of spirit, where all of creation is restored. So I just had to pause on that because that clarified the high priestess. And so, yeah, I'm going to come back with a part three because company just walked in and I think they might get loud and I don't want them to be too loud. Let me just see. So we have the high priestess clarified by Mary Magdalene, the initiation of what? Y'all heard it. So, divine masculine is really on the move. Whatever you divine feminines are doing, whatever you're working on, whatever you have going on, I just give you kudos, mad kudos. Because, a few weeks ago, this read was like all swords and swords and swords, and divine masculine was just not feeling it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a complete 360-degree flip around, turn around. So, somebody been on they shit. I'm just saying. I am just saying. And said, so